everybody, welcome back to Simple Art for Adults. My name is Erin, and today we are going to start something completely new, something that I have not yet done before, and something that people continue to ask me to do. I am going to start a tutorial series based on, for this particular series, these wonderful colored pencils right here. Now, if you guys keep track of me and the things I post in the dozen Facebook groups I belong to, you will know that I am a Prismacolor girl. These are my favorite colored pencils. They're the first artist quality colored pencils I ever bought. When I first purchased I'm going to cover that up, that's bright. When I first purchased my very first set of Prismacolor Premier Colored Pencils, I bought them at Walmart. I bought them in a 24 pack, and I was so excited to have them. I brought them home and I opened them up and I got out a coloring sheet and I just couldn't do it. They were so different from any other brand I'd used, and at that point I'd tried Crayola, Prang, Twistables, you know, all the budget-friendly pencils. I'd already tried all those. And these were so different that I couldn't make them do anything. Everything I tried to do with them looked absolutely terrible, and I could get better results with my Crayola pencils than I could with these Prismacolor Premier. Today, that's different. Today, I do my absolute best work with these pencils. I do also use polychromos, and we'll cover that too, but I can't do that until I get a larger set. Right now, I only have 20 polychromos. I have 5 more coming to me from Blick and colors that I didn't have yet. So as soon as I gather enough polychromos to do a picture with an entirely polychromos, or until my boyfriend or, you know, one of my really dear friends decides to go ahead and just send me the set because they love me. Until then, we're not going to do the polychromos. We're going to do the Prismacolor. So this is going to be an entire series. I'm going to do 1 or more videos a week, just kind of going over the basics of Prismacolor, how to use them, and when I color in this, my goal is to actually start on an image, and I don't know if we'll actually finish it, but my goal is to do an image in this book that I just picked up from Hobby Lobby at an incredibly inflated price. Although I didn't really mind because, you know, it's Johanna Basford. So I figured what I'd do is find an image in this book that I can color with these pencils as I do my tutorial. I don't want it to be too complicated, but I don't want it to be too simple either, because I want to kind of make this like also maybe like a tutorial about how I color. And I'll do that at the start of all of my series. Basically the processes I use when I get ready to color an image, the things that I think about, how I come up with ideas. I do want to make that part of this tutorial and every other tutorial for every other, or when I do the polychromos as well. So we're not really going to be doing any coloring today. I don't believe, and if we do, I'll just grab another book. But I'm definitely, when we do start coloring with these and I do start doing the tutorial, it is going to be in this book. So if you guys have this book, and if you have this 150 set of Prismacolor, you are more than welcome to follow along with me, just to kind of get a feel for how I color when I do color. I don't know, I can't seem to find a picture in here that's really going to suit my needs. I guess maybe I should have done this before I started the camera, huh? Well, since we're not going to do it today, I'm not sure it really makes a difference. Anyway, we could do the birds. That's not too bad. Maybe we'll do the birds. Let me grab a flag. But today, basically what we're going to do is just kind of talk about Prismacolor pencils, where they come from, who owns the company, what, you know, the sets that are available, the average price for them, how to take care of them, how to store them, that kind of thing. Because, you know, in the end, that's going to play a really important role in how your Prismacolor pencils work for you. Bear with me, guys. I'm putting my book back on my shelf. All right. So first things first, and there are going to be people who disagree with me. Oh, before I even say that, disclaimer, guys. Everything I say about these pencils, for the most part, when I get into the tutorials and how I color and I say you should do this, this is all opinion again. I'm not telling you this is the only way to color. I'm not telling you these are the best pencils in the world. I'm not saying anything of the sort. These are my favorite pencils. These are the pencils I have the most experience with. And when I tell you how to take care of them and how to do things like that, it is all a matter of my personal opinion. You do not have to do things the same way I do them. You can do things any way you want. Hopefully for the beginners out there who are looking to get into Prismacolors and get more out of them, this is going to help them. But like I said, if you develop your own style with them over time, that's perfectly fine. Now, I have here the 150 count set of Prismacolors and the 72 count set of Prismacolors. My 150 box is empty, as you can see, and I've got all the little trays stacked up here. These trays, guys, are pretty flimsy when they come in here. They're not as flimsy as some, but they are a little bit flimsy. If you wanted to, you could hot glue like a piece of cardboard back here, and it would keep it a little bit more sturdy so that it doesn't flex and bend like this when you go to manipulate it. I've seen that done, and it works fairly well. I don't like the way the pencils lie in the trays, because when you go to move them, it's like they fall around everywhere. So you could also hot glue some little pieces of yarn here so you have handles to lift them out with. Just some ideas if you actually wanted to keep them in the tin. I know people do. It's a sturdy tin. The flap is magnetic right here. So this is magnetic. And it's like an easel, so you can open it up, flip it back like this, and then you're going to want to tuck this little flap underneath and set it down. And so it'll hold your pencils up like an easel, and then you can lay out all your trays and have access to your pencils. The only bad thing is that it comes in 3 layers. So if you have a small desk like mine, then you're going to have all these trays of pencils laying around everywhere, and I just don't have room. So because of this, let me move this out of the way. Because of that, what I do is I actually use this. This was about $20 on Amazon, and it's 175 or 180 slot pencil case. It's very sturdy and well made. I've been using it for months, and there's no sign of wear at all. So this is how I take care of my Prismacolors. This is where I keep them. They have the little flaps on the edges that protect your pencil points. It's like a book, so you have pages. It's not the accordion style. In the back, you have some extra loops. I keep a Clume 2-hole pencil sharpener back here. I also keep my, what is this thing called? The illustration marker, I think. Prismacolor Scholar Bullet Tip. I think it's an illustration marker. And mine are all kept in color order. So I start out with the cream and then go from there. I have a lot of my pencils out right now. All of these are out right now because I'm using them in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly on an image that I've been working on. I almost have the first half finished. That's exciting. So as you can see, some of my Prismacolors definitely get more love than others. Some of them are a little short. Some of them, a handful of them, have never even really been sharpened because I don't use them that often. So you'll see the ones with the really blunt tips have not even been sharpened yet. But these are my favorite pencils, and I use them for practically everything. Alright, so this is the 150 set that's in this. Then you also, probably the best deal right now, if you're actually interested in starting out with Prismacolors, is going to be this set. This is the 72 set, and it's on sale on Amazon right now for $24. So you can go to Amazon and get the 24 set for less than the 24, or you can get the 72 set for less money than the 24 pack at Walmart, which is crazy. This is also 3 layers of pencil, the same kind of flimsy trays. So whether or not you wanted to keep them in here is up to you, but because there are less of them, it may be easier. So these are all brand new, and I ordered these last week because a lot of mine, as you saw, were starting to get short. I've used them about halfway. So I went ahead and ordered the 72 set because that's going to save me at least $72. So, because these are, I think, at Dick Blick, they're between $1.25 and $1.50 a piece. And when you buy them like this, I don't know what it breaks down to, but it's like a quarter a pencil tops. So I'm saving myself a lot of money this way. This is pencils I won't have to buy open stock. So I keep this in a desk drawer for when I need to pull a pencil out. I also have, just a second, I didn't get prepared. I'm looking for my little pouch that I keep my spares in. I also have this. Now this is a laptop bag. It goes in a laptop bag, and you roll your cord up and you stick it in here. This is where I keep all of my open stock pencils that I have bought. Because I have the 150 set and all the colors I need are not in the 72 set that I purchased. So these are all the open stock ones that I've purchased. And it's got my extra blender pencils. I have, if any of you guys draw, by the way, these are fabulous. Absolutely freaking fantastic pencils. The Prismacolor Ebony, they go down nice and soft and dark, but they erase well also. So yeah, I love this. I have a random polychromos in here. I accidentally grabbed and bought the wrong color. So now, as you guys can tell, I like Johanna Basford a lot because most of these replacement pencils are green. I ran into an issue this past week with the Ivy and the Inky Butterfly page that I'm coloring. Two of the colors are, oh, what are they? Not that one. This one. This was a brand new pencil when I started. And I'm not finished with it by any means yet, so I'm going to run out of pencil. And my Hobby Lobby, which is the closest art store to me, only sells, I think, the 72 open stock. So I would have to travel to Evansville, which is about an hour and 15 minutes for me to get this. But I just ended up ordering it. It'll be here soon enough, so we'll have that. Oh, and this one too. So, yeah, that page is eating up my two pencils, but that's okay. It's turning out nice. Anyway, enough about all the stuff I have. Let's move on. Alright, the number one question that people ask me when it comes to, I'm sorry if you can't hear me. The number one question people ask me when it comes to Prismacolor colored pencils, and it's not really even in relation to Prismacolor. I hear all the time, let me move this out of the way. Are they like Prismacolors? When watching videos about budget-friendly pencils. That's the number one question. Are they like Prismacolors? Are they soft like Prismacolors? Are they pigmented like Prismacolors? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, guys, but there's nothing like a Prismacolor. Prismacolor is in a class all its own. There is not another pencil that is as soft as a Prismacolor, not even a Luminance. Now, that doesn't mean they're the best pencils, necessarily. Prismacolor was owned by a company called Sanford for many, many years. When they were owned by Sanford, the pencils were very high quality, and as a result, they were much more expensive than they are today. When I bought my 150 set that I showed you, I paid $130 for it. And then a few months later, you could go on Amazon and order it for less than $80. And I think that's probably, I think it's still right at that price, about $85 maybe now. So the price has gone down. And the reason for this is because Prismacolor no longer belongs to Sanford. Now it's owned by a company called Rubbermaid Newell, or Newell. And if you are in the United States or Canada or nearby, then I'm sure you know what Rubbermaid is. Rubbermaid is a plastic manufacturing company. They don't do colored pencils. So what we have now is our beloved Prismacolors are being made by a company that doesn't specialize in colored pencil. And it's resulted in some significant quality issues. People are saying that they're getting pencils that are cracked all the way through, or the leads are broken all the way through the inside and it falls out, or, you know, that they go to sharpen and they're the tip of the pencil around the, like up here, oh, sorry, like around here, like it'll flake off and chip and crack, so that makes their leads loose, or their cores loose. Personally, I haven't had this issue, and this is my second full set of Prismacolor pencils that I've ordered. I didn't have any problems with my 150 set when I got it. I haven't had any problems with any of the open stock pencils that I've bought at Hobby Lobby, or the ones that I've been sent from Blick. I don't have this issue. And I think maybe that's because before I ordered them, I watched some videos and listened to some folks talk about how to take care of them. So let's go ahead and go into that just a little bit. Before you even start coloring with your Prismacolors, before you even order them, you might want to consider something like this. And this is not only for convenience. This is padded, right? So what it's going to do is hold your pencils softly. You can get your pencils out, you can take them down off the shelf, you can take them in and out, and you don't have to worry about these little flimsy trays moving and all your pencils dumping out on the floor, because that's the worst thing you could do to a Prismacolor is drop it on the floor. These pencils are so soft that dropping it on the floor can shatter the entire core all the way down through the pencil, and then you're going to have issues. You're going to have issues sharpening, that kind of thing. Something else I want to show you guys, if you look, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. I'm going to try to get it up there. See. I don't know if you can see it or not because of lighting, but if you look really close at this pencil, there's a spot where, let me see if I can find it. Right there under the PC927 and under where it says Peach Claire, whatever, however you say that, it looks like it's cracked, right? This pencil isn't cracked. It's a glue line. It's where the pencil's been glued together because it comes in two pieces and the core just goes in the middle at the factory and then they glue the barrel around it. That's just the glue line, and it looks like a place where the paint just didn't get into the glue line. That's not a crack. So as you can tell, this pencil's been used quite a bit and I've never had it break. It hasn't broken while I was sharpening. So a lot of the ones that you might think are cracked may not be completely cracked. So definitely try to invest in one of these, or if you choose to keep it in a tray or in the box, you may want to consider gluing some cardboard to it and making yourself some little handles, and that just kind of makes it safer. If you choose to put them in something like this, make sure that when you go to close it, that you're not slamming it down or letting it fall, because you're going to smash your pencils together and that can break the cores as well, and that's going to be an issue. As far as caring for your Prismacolors outside of this, there's really nothing else you have to do. I do recommend using a very sharp blade when you sharpen. These are my favorite sharpeners. This one's actually a Coom magnesium blade sharpener. These are $1.99 at Hobby Lobby, less than that if you have a coupon. They last me, as somebody who colors once a month, they're going to last me, or somebody who colors every day, they're going to last me about a month before I have to replace them. Now you can buy blades for these and just unscrew it and replace the blade, but to me that's just a pain. I just buy a new sharpener once a month, and I usually have 2 or 3 laying around anyway. So these are going to make it easier for you to sharpen your pencils, because the blades are nice and sharp and you get more control. It's not electric, so you don't have to worry about it eating your pencil or anything like that. So let's get a pencil that I need to sharpen. We'll go with the Putty Beige, which is the color I'm using for the background in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. Now I am right-handed. My right hand is my dominant hand. So the last thing I want to do is do this, stick my pencil in and start twisting. Because when you do that, you're wiggling this pencil around in here. Whether you realize you're doing it or not, you're wiggling it around. And when you put pressure on the core up here, you're putting pressure on the core all the way through the pencil. So instead of that, put your sharpener in your dominant hand. Hold your pencil in your non-dominant hand like this. Hold the pencil still and twist the sharpener, the very sharp sharpener. And then you get yourself a nice point on your pencil. You don't have to worry about it breaking. Guys, I've used these sharpeners since I got Prismacolors, and I've never had an issue, not once. And I see people putting their Prismacolors in electric sharpeners. I even watch Lisa from Lockery Fine Art, and she uses an electric sharpener on her Prismacolors. And I love everything she does, don't get me wrong, but it made me cringe when I saw her say that she put that pencil in there. I was like, oh no. But apparently she got a bad batch because she said hers kept breaking even with a manual sharpener. So, yeah. So that's how I sharpen my pencils. Guys, I mean, that's the way that I've always had luck with them, and I don't have any breakage issues. If you guys want to sharpen your pencils differently, if you want to put them in an electric sharpener, I mean, by all means, please do so. I just recommend doing it this way. It works better for me. Something else that I did want to talk about today is how to use your Prismacolors with other pencils, and this is something that we'll get into in more detail as I go through this series. You can use Prismacolors with other pencils. They work best when you use them with other wax pencils, of course. They are a little bit trickier to use alongside something like, say, a Polychromos. If you're going to mix the two pencil brands, I find that it's easier to lay your Prismacolor down first and then use your polychromos to blend it out, because your polychromos is not as slick on the paper. So when you color with a Prismacolor, you have like a slick layer of wax on your paper. Polychromos doesn't do that. It's oil-based and it reacts much differently with your paper. So if you put down your polychromos and then go over it with Prismacolor, the Prismacolors are so much more opaque that you're likely to just cover up any work you did without polychromos. If you color lightly with the Prismacolor first and then go over the top with the polychromos, on the other hand, you can blend your Prismacolor colors together and then add that transparent hue from your polychromos, and it works wonderfully. I do use it that way from time to time. All right, so 20 minutes in, and there's one more little controversial topic that I do want to talk about when it comes to Prismacolor colored pencils. One of my very first videos that I ever made and published to YouTube was 10 colored pencil tips for beginners, and how to, you know, get the most out of your coloring books and all that. And I talked about upgrading from Crayolas to Prismacolors and how much of a difference it could make for people who are struggling to implement the tips and things that they saw on YouTube, people who felt like they knew how to do it, but they just couldn't execute on paper. I did recommend that they upgrade to a different pencil, even a Prismacolor. Well, I got a lot of backlash for that, and people said, well, you know, not everybody can afford to just go out and buy, you know, these expensive pencils and, you know, all these things. And while I do completely understand that, I do have a rebuttal. And it's something that I tell people all the time, and believe it or not, a lot of times people do agree with me. Once again, it is my opinion, and if you still don't want to buy Prismacolors and you want to use your budget pencils, go right ahead. I mean, people do beautiful work with budget pencils, and I have nothing against that. I'm going to take a drink really quick. But there's something more to think about outside of just how much you're paying for the set of pencils. I have Cherry Coke Zero today. My boyfriend gave to me and said, here, try something different. It's pretty good. All right, so I want everybody to sit down and think about this for a while, and I'm actually going to grab a piece of paper, right? It's my little notes for my video today. So let's first think about the price difference between Crayola 100 set and a Prismacolor 72. I know there's going to be less pencils in the Prismacolor 72. I'm aware of that. But because Prismacolors blend in layers so well, whatever colors aren't in here, you can pretty well make. Or you can layer them one on top of each other to get the colors you don't have. So a 100 pack of Crayola colored pencils at my local Walmart is $17. That's how much it costs for the 100 different color package. The Prismacolor 72 set is $25 or $24 right now on Amazon. So you're looking at $7 difference between the two packages. All right, $7 difference. Now here's where you really need to start thinking about whether or not your Crayola pencils are really budget pencils. So let's say that you're in the same predicament that I am right now, and you're coloring this giant 2-page spread in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, and it's going wonderfully, and then all of a sudden you run out of purple, your favorite purple that you've been using this whole entire spread. And, well, you can't just go pick a different purple out of the Prismacolor box, because then it's not going to match. You're going to have 2 different shades of purple, and it just won't look right. So what are you going to do? Well, you can't just call Prismacolor, or you can't call Crayola and say, Crayola, can you send me a purple pencil? You can't go to Hobby Lobby or Dick Blick, and you can't go online and order a purple pencil. So your only other option is to go back to wherever you bought your Crayolas, spend another $17, and boom, already you're at $34 right there. Now with me, I paid $24 for my set of 72 Prismacolors, right? I run out of my purple pencil that I've been using. I just go over to Hobby Lobby and pay $2 for it. Hey, look, I'm up to $26. I didn't have to buy a whole new set of pencils. This is what I think about when it comes to buying budget-friendly. I'm going to do the little budget-friendly. They're wonderful. They're wonderful pencils. If you really are on a strict budget and you just want something besides Crayola, by all means, go and get yourself a set of the Hero pencils everybody's talking about. Get the Fila pencils that Ann Siggers over at A Colorful Life is in love with. Get the Marco Raffine pencils. get the Sooty Style pencils, you know, whatever fits your budget and whatever you think you're going to like best. Go ahead and get those, but keep in mind that in the long run, over time, it's not going to be any more a budget pencil than these right here are going to be, because when it comes down to running out of your favorite color in the middle of a spread, you're just going to have to turn around and spend that same amount of money you paid for the original set again, and that's going to cause you some serious problems. While you will still have all those other colors in case you run out, what happens if you go through that purple more than any other pencil? What happens if you turn around and buy a third set because you run out of the purple again? You're going to have hundreds of colored pencils that you may never use, and you're going to have to keep spending money on the full set to replace them. So this is just my logic. That's just how I feel about it, and that's why it's very rare for me to buy a set of colored pencils that I cannot buy open stock, because in the long run, it's going to save me money. Alright guys, that's all I have for you today for our introduction to Prismacolor colored pencils for beginners. The next time we do this, we're actually going to go into some tutorials on how to use these beauties, and I would love to use them in this book. So for those of you watching the video and who would be interested in following along in the tutorial, my book is brand new. I haven't colored any single pictures in it. I literally just bought it. So if you guys want to pick an image that's in here, go ahead and just mention it in the comments below the video. If you're a member of the Facebook group, just share a picture of it in the Facebook group, and that'll make it easier for me to find it. If you're not a member of the Facebook group, please join. It's a fun little group. It's very small right now. There's only like 40 of us, but it's a really, really fun group. We laugh and kid and cut up, and it's a lot of fun. So head over to Simple Art for Adults group on Facebook. The link is down below. It's down there. So go grab that. Another thing that we're going to be using when I do my next video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I choose my color palette with Prismacolors, and I'm going to be using color palettes that I've saved to my Pinterest account, which is nothing but color palettes. That's all my Pinterest is. So if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the description box, you'll find a link to my Pinterest account, and you can feel free to use any of those palettes you want. I borrowed them all myself from places like Design Seeds. They're just my favorites, and I've categorized them into different groups. So we have like brights and pastels, pinks, purples, that kind of thing. So I will be using a palette more than likely from one of those that I've saved to Pinterest. But definitely help me choose a picture so that the next video I make will all be like on the same thing, and you guys can follow along with me when I do my layering and blending tutorials. And we'll eventually even get into how I do backgrounds too, so that'll be fun. Alright guys, this is all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me, and it means a lot to me that you guys take time out of your day to watch. We just hit 2,000 subscribers, and there's a giveaway going on, so if you want to get in on that and you're a subscriber, head on over to that video, look for the 2,000 subscriber video giveaway, and watch that and leave a comment in the comment section to enter. If you have not subscribed, please do so. The best thing that you can do for me to help this channel grow so I can show you more things and do more things is to hit the like button down there and share it with your friends, or if you have any coloring groups that you think would appreciate it and they don't mind that you share links, go ahead and do that too. It really helps out a whole lot. Until then guys, I do want to thank you for joining me today with our Prismacolor journey, and I look forward to giving you guys some more information and tutorials on how to get the most out of them. Thanks for joining me, Coloring Family.